Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cathedral of Tennis, the Adams Tennis Complex, live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Welcome to another edition of Blue Raider Tennis. I'm Dylan Simmons, joined by Cam Eschenfelder. Cam, what a splendid day it is.
It really is. I'm excited to see the matchup between MTSU Blue Raiders versus the Michigan State Spartans. It's sure to be a good match.
Yes, it will be, Cam. MTSU coming into this ranked number 25 in the nation, their highest preseason ranking in ITA history. Going to be fantastic to see how they do in comparison to that ranking, and can they live up to it?
Yeah, exactly. Middle Tennessee is coming off of an outstanding season. They're coming off of a 28-5 season,
yes,
2-0 in conference. Most of their matches actually coming from outside of conference. Michigan State, however, coming off of a kind of average season. They won, 15 and 14.
Yes,
record,
sir.
With only 1-8 in the Big Ten Conference. MTSU did beat Michigan State last year, so we'll see if they can do a repeat.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting to see how that will play into Michigan State. Obviously coming off a season in which they didn't live up to the expectations. Only had one win in the Big Ten against Indiana, 4-3. The question is, can they rebound? But they've got a lot of great talent that they're willing to make, will do well with and are hoping to make things happen with. There you see the players on the court right now. And it'll be interesting to see how MTSU goes into the season. Of course, MTSU, like we mentioned, coming in number 25, number 1 in the preseason CUSA rankings, and obviously that holds a lot of weight for them. Now, all-time, MTSU has a 2-1 advantage against Michigan State, Cam.
Yeah, MTSU has definitely done pretty well recently against Michigan State. Looking at Michigan State, they had some pretty big wins against Indiana, Xavier, Butler, Ball State, Toledo, Virginia Tech, and Purdue. But unfortunately, they did lose against tougher opponents within their season last year, against Ohio State, losing that one 0-4, and Princeton 0-4, Tulane 0-4, and losing to Michigan, Illinois, and Louisville all 1-6. MTSU, on the other hand, has done pretty well against all of their big opponents.
Yes.
They actually had the longest win streak, as we mentioned many times last year, at home. They won a grand total of 33 games at home before losing. Yes, 33 games at home before losing to Notre Dame last season at home in a close loss. That makes them 33. Yeah, in 76 games, they only lost one game in the past 3 seasons, all the 3 seasons being conference champions.
Yeah, and that one loss came against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish last year.
Yep.
So that shows the pedigree and the amount of success that this team has had as time has gone on. And they're looking to carry that over here into this new season, Cam. Obviously, a lot of expectations, and being ranked number 25 in the ITA, a big deal for them. But Coach Jimmy Borndame's gone on record. He says, we don't care about preseason rankings. We're here to compete, and we're here to take care of the task in front of us. This team's coming in very focused, very hot.
Yeah, absolutely. MTSU, a big team in recent years.
Yes.
Their 19-20 season, they went 13-5, 8-0 at home. In their 2020 and 2021 season, they went 17-8 and 11-0 at home. And then went last season 28-5 with 13 wins at home and only 1 loss at home, as we mentioned, against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
With that total being 33 games at home won. Those are the 3 conference champions. 3 years of conference champions. Their 18-19 season was 18-12. There was a little bit worse in the past 3, but we can see the steady climb to becoming a fantastic team and earning that number 25 seed this season.
Yes, sir. And when we're talking about singles and doubles for this team, they've got some heavy hitters due MTSU. Stein Slump is going to be a huge player for them today, especially in the singles ranks. They're looking at him to really be kind of like the singles ace.
Yep, absolutely. Stein Slump, one of the men returning. He is a grad student, along with 2 other men returning. Francisco Rocha, the grad from Porto, Portugal, and Stein Slump returning, the other graduate student from the Netherlands. And there's one other player returning, Oscar Bros from Polson, the only sophomore they'll be returning. Besides that, we have 4 new guys, all freshmen. Andrzej Horak from Czech Republic, Marcel Kamrowski from Poland, Shu Matsuko from Japan, and Batan Slayer from Turkey.
Yes, and these new guys are absolutely flashing all the talent. And, of course, when we're talking about doubles, it's all about OBP,
yep.
Oscar Brosh from Polson, and Francisco Rocha. These guys absolutely light up the court, Cam.
Absolutely.
And they're going to be huge today. Had a lot of success just this fall against some really stiff competition.
They really did, yeah.
Talking about the number 1 doubles team in the nation, took them to 3 sets. Did this team, and so they're going to be dynamite, going to be a tough team for Michigan State to handle today. We'll see how the Spartans measure up to the challenge. As for Michigan State, though, they've got some fantastic players of their own, Cam. Talking about a phenomenal freshman who's making waves.
Yeah, absolutely. This guy is coming off of a singles champion or a doubles championship at the U.S. Junior Championship. He's a 5-star blue chip recruit that Michigan State has coming in. We'll wait to see what court he plays this year. This will be his first official match with Michigan State for the fall season, and we'll see how he can fare up against the Blue Raiders. Probably will be looking at a Francisco Rocha Court 1 or Stein Slump. We'll see when that comes out.
Yeah, like you mentioned, this kid is an absolute prodigy, Ozan Barris. He's going to be a superstar thus far, and we're going to be very interested in seeing how he does moving into today. But, you know, just talking generally, Cam, what do you think is going to be a big difference for MTSU that we can expect that we didn't see last year that we could see this year?
Yeah, I think a big difference is we're having these new freshmen that are going to kind of pull together the team a little bit more. Of course, we have older guys that have learned a little bit, so we'll have to see how they fare, definitely.
All right, definitely going to be interesting to see how all of that shakes out. But we do have a potential, and we got an interview here with Coach Callie here, getting ready to open things up for the season. Coach Callie, how are you doing?
Good, good. How you guys doing?
Doing awesome, doing awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking this interview with us. And, yeah, just want to ask you a couple questions here. So, First question we got for you is you guys are coming off a very successful fall season, a lot of success for individual players. How confident do you feel about that fall season and how it's going to carry over all the preparation into 2023?
Yeah, our fall was really good. Lots of our guys were playing pro tournaments. And, I mean, college players are all becoming really good pro players, and we want our guys to keep playing pro tournaments, and we're confident. We're confident that semester is gonna get us ready and get us good for the spring season.
Yeah, definitely. I want to ask. So we have some new guys to the team. I want to ask how you feel about those new guys coming in, where they're gonna fit, how you feel they're doing.
Well, first of all, our recruiting class was ranked 23 in the nation, I believe, and that was counting only 2 of the 4 new guys, which was with Andre Horak and Shumatsuoka. And then we also added Marcel Kamrowski, who's the highest ITF junior ranked player we got ever at MTSU, and Baran Soiler, who's had great results in the pro tournament. So I feel really good. I think this class is gonna be one of the best classes ever MTSU ever had.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. And I do want to ask, so in some of the recent tweets that we've seen from Coach Jimmy Borendame, he started up a new tweet hashtag called #WeGrit16. I wanted to ask you what that means.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. All right, WeGrit16, it means work hard. That's W for work hard, E for earn everything, G for growth mindset, R for respect, I forgot I. T is for toughness, and the other T is for team is everything. 16 is because our goal is to get to the Sweet 16 at least.
Gotcha. So top 16, so you can be a.
Yeah, I is for integrity.
Integrity. There
Integrity.
You go.
Here we go.
All right, awesome. Well, and I got one more question for you before you go, and it's about the freshman phenom from Michigan State, Ozan Barris. He's really good, got a lot of accomplishments. He's kind of a wild card going into today. How are you guys preparing for a challenge like him and all the Michigan State players such as him?
Well, Ozan, he's one of the best freshmen in the country. We saw him in the fall at All Americans. We haven't played against him, but Francisco actually practiced with him one day, and I'm a good friend with the head coach Harry Jadun. And I mean, we know what's Ozan's game, and we know how to play him. But you know, he's gonna be a tough one anyway.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Coach Callie. Good luck on the game today. Go get
Thank
him.
you, guys.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Great interview there from Coach Callie. Loved his insight that we saw there, Cam. And it's going to be interesting to see how that translates. But you can see the fire in his eyes. This team's ready to go. And now it's time for the national anthem, folks. Let's end it courtside for opening ceremonies.
Conference USA encourages and promotes good sportsmanship by students, athletes, coaches, spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner.
All right, we will get to that in just a second. Will the national anthem begins. But as of right now, we're going to see how this game will progress forward. It's going to be very interesting to see how everything will move. As we mentioned before, MTSU and Michigan State 2-1 all time. The Blue Raiders have the advantage in this series. Both teams looking for a lot of motivations. And we will get more for you shortly. But for now, we're going to send it to a quick break, and we'll be back with the national anthem. Stay tuned here on the MTN Sports YouTube channel and CUSA.tv. More MTSU Men's Tennis Action coming to you live.
On June 23, 1972, Title IX was signed into law, and it reads, "No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity, receiving federal financial assistance." Happy 50th anniversary, Title IX. Thank you for giving little girls like me and big kids like Conference USA student athletes the opportunity to dream big.
Mental health affects us all, whether you finish first or last.
Whether you win or lose.
The stigma around these issues causes those around us to suffer in silence.
Mental health is nothing to be ashamed of.
You are not alone.
You are not alone. As a student athlete,
As a teammate,
As a friend,
we pledge to continue the conversation.
because it matters.
because you matter.
stand up to the stigma.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Continue the conversation.
You are not alone.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again to the Cathedral of Tennis, the Adams Tennis Complex live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Dylan Simmons alongside Cam Eschenfelder once again. Cam, it's almost time to get right down to business, but first we want to ask, what are some keys of the game? Cam, what do you got?
Yeah, so some of my keys that I have, I really think that MTSU needs to have some grit today. Michigan State is a pretty tough team. They always have been a Big Ten competitor. Last season, a little bit, slower of a start for Michigan State, but they have some new freshmen, especially the new 5-star blue chip, Ozan, who can come out very strong. So I think that MTSU definitely needs to hold on there, as well as having some depth with the new freshmen that MTSU has as well. They're definitely going to need to step up, especially on courts 4, 5, and 6 where the freshmen could be playing. If they can win on their courts, I definitely think that Michigan State could, we can definitely be Michigan State.
I like the optimism. I like the idea. For my keys, I've got first up, come out swinging. MTSU is going to have to come out swinging, show a lot of fight and determination early, which we know they're absolutely capable of doing. These Blue Raiders fight. They fight hard, and they fight to win. So much experience between a lot of these players, and even the freshmen, they know how this thing is going to go. And you also got to stay calm, keep the emotions in check. I know it's the first game of the season, but you got to make sure you focus and play the Blue Raider style of tennis game. And that's what we're hoping to see for MTSU. We'll see if that takes place. And finally, that championship pedigree. MTSU has done a great job over the years at establishing that championship pedigree and winning titles back-to-back, and using some of that will be crucial today. Obviously, the 3-time defending Conference USA champions are these Blue Raiders, and they're going to hope to use that to great effect here today. It's almost time to kick off with the doubles matches, which will be starting shortly. On court 1, we've got Barris and Shelton taking on Rocha and Oscar Rostrom-Polson. Pavel Model and Stein Slump take on Crocker and Say on court 2. And on court 3, it's Matsuoka and Sawyer versus Perro and Bayless. So that's going to be your doubles matches for MTSU and Michigan State. And Cam, as a former tennis player, you know getting this doubles point early can really establish the rhythm of the entire match.
Absolutely, yeah. Coach Jimmy Borendame has always put a lot of emphasis on the doubles point. We know that he's definitely going to want this today against such a tough team. I have to say, I've never seen a tennis team with numbers before. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, you usually don't see numbers on tennis players' shirts, but
pretty cool.
You see Shelton, it's almost like a varsity jersey for them.
Exactly. At least we know their names now. There you go.
There you go.
You can always remember right there.
See the players warming up here.
Yep.
Francisco Rocha, obviously the dynamite graduate student from Porto, Portugal, who has done such a fantastic job over the years of making a statement and making a name for himself. He's joined by OBP, Oscar Brostrom-Polson, the man, the myth, the legend. The sophomore has already made a huge impact, and he's going to look to continue to do that today.
Yep, this is a big doubles pair right here.
So much success for this doubles team. Again, competed in the ITA All-American Championships in Tulsa, Oklahoma just this past October, and took it all the way to the #1 team in the nation, took them to a third set. Shows just how impressive this team is, and they formed a lot of chemistry over this past year and change. And that one will fall quickly into the net, so Michigan State getting an early break here.
Yeah, big serve from Oscar. Oscar's got a pretty big serve. Timmy's a tall guy.
Very tall guy, and has a heck of a windmill that he uses to get these balls into the box.
The taller guy, Stein especially, one of the guys with the bigger serve on MTSU.
And that one goes right through the middle, too far on that one. So MTSU able to notch things up fairly quickly. And that's, again, using your head and not making an early mistake there for MTSU, Cam.
Yep, MTSU definitely pressuring the net a little bit more in the beginning.
So right now, MTSU and Michigan State currently at 15 all here on this court. And we'll see Oscar serve. Oh, man, fantastic placement
Big
right
serve.
there. That was absolutely fantastic placement. And again, it all comes down to that accuracy when you're a tennis player, putting it in the right position, right?
Oscar's been hitting a lot of his first serves. Very important. Big first serve can set the momentum for the rest of the game.
Also establish confidence if you are Oscar in that situation.
Absolutely.
Trying to make sure you get a rhythm established for your team. 30-15.
That first one just wide, or deep, I should say.
Second serve upcoming. And Quick chance to gather the ball back. Helping out a friend. Always nice to see good sportsmanship.
There you go, a little high five from Michigan. They're ready.
And that one falls in the net, so Michigan State avoids disaster there, and MTSU looks like they're already going to take an early point differential loss here.
Yep. Not good to go break the first game. Michigan State up 1, set to serve.
Yeah, not how you want to start early, but again, MTSU is going to have plenty of time to make this right. And it's not about, you want to make sure you don't panic early on. You want to make sure you continue to play your brand of tennis like we were discussing.
Absolutely, yeah. These two older guys are definitely pressuring the net early on. We can see that, but a lot of their volleys have gone in the net, so we're going to need to see them do a little bit better.
And again, Ozan Barris here from Michigan State, one of those on this team alongside of his teammate Max Sheldon, a sophomore. So fairly young team from Michigan State here, taking it to, you know, you got Rocha, the graduate student, and you got OBP, the sophomore.
Yep. Rocha rocking the headband.
Always like to see the headband of doom, as I call it. He brings it out, and there's just nothing you can do about it, but Michigan State trying to stand up to it. And that one will fall into the net.
A lot of balls in the net so far. You definitely want to miss wide rather than go in the net.
It's a dandy day to catch some fish in the net, as they would say.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we'll see Michigan State get ready for another serve here. And second serve coming up as that one fell into the net. And that one will fall into the net. Nicely done. MTSU is going to get the point there. And we're going to send it to the man with the microphone, the man who's been on the sidelines working hard. Grant Langston's got our first update of the day. Grant, what are you thinking?
Thanks, guys. Well, MTSU came out swinging, holding serve on courts 2 and 3 while they were broken on court 1. And back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Mr. Grant.
Thank you,
Doing
Grant.
great job there, getting some great work done. But you're seeing MTSU establishing a rhythm early, but also kind of falling behind at different points. So it's going to be interesting to see how they tackle this doubles point and maybe not, again, let that emotion overtake them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see how that works forward. We're going to go over to court 3 in just a second and get the latest on that action. Obviously, MTSU trying to stave off disaster here in the early going. You got Pavel Model and Stein Slump for MTSU on this side. And they are taking on Reed Crocker and David Say. Oh, my apologies. That's actually not the right court for the names for court 3, rather. Marcel and Andre instead for MTSU were the ones playing. The freshmen, yes. So our apologies there. PlaySite had the wrong names on it, but there you see Marcel Kamrowski, who has been a fantastic addition. Another great recruit by Coach Borendame here, Cam.
Yep. That one deep.
Too far. And Kamrowski will wait on this one to come. And that one falls a little too low, so Michigan State gets the advantage that time.
Big backhand from the freshman, but that was a good place ball by Michigan State.
Yeah, huge backhand there. And when you're a player, Cam, it's hard to deflect those low balls to the ground because it puts so much pressure on you to get it back up over the net.
That's one of the hardest shots in tennis. One of those really low balls you got to take from the net that you have to kind of ground back up instead of volleying. Usually goes right back in the net.
It's all about that accuracy, all about putting it in the right place at the right time. Second serve coming up here from MTSU.
Serving from out wide.
And got him that time. Nicely done.
A lot of net balls.
Pinball City out here on the court right now, but at the end of the day, that's what you want to see. You want to make them have to put it into the net.
Absolutely.
And they're able to get another point off of that.
Yep.
MTSU getting some momentum over here on court number 3. And Horak will get ready for yet another serve. You mentioned how we served it out wide on the right side, but look on the left side, much more towards the center.
There you go. More of an I formation right there. The first one in the net.
First one misses. And he'll get a second chance now going from out wide. And that one also falls in, so he double faulted that time.
That's all right.
Those mistakes happen.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
They're coming in. First official match this fall.
You can imagine being a freshman. One year you're playing high school tennis, and then the next you're in the cathedral of tennis with all
playing
these fans.
Michigan State.
Playing Michigan
with
State
a bunch of fans.
As the number 25 team in the nation.
Preseason ranked. Well earned. Well deserved. The first one, and then he might go out wide here again.
Again, first time MTSU has ever been ranked preseason, the ITA top 25.
After 3 conference championships, I guess. I think you got to give it to him.
Speaking of giving it to him, Michigan State. What a play that was on the side.
That one looked like it might have gone out. Might have just grabbed the line there. Went for it.
I believe that was Bayless who just sent it right back and did a fantastic job again of the placement on the sideline. That has much zip as a postal code that time. My goodness.
That's a 37129 right there. Nope, that one just deep.
A little too far on that one. You know, you've got those next-gen stats for all these new sports, but in tennis, it's largely the same way. Ball placement is so critical for these players, and not using too much of your arm when you're swinging it back. Tried to scoop it up and nothing doing.
That was a good play call, though, by the freshman up the net. Told him to serve it inside and come out. He would shift.
So Michigan
drop them.
Yeah, so Michigan State will take that point for that version of the doubles match. But so Michigan State starting to get a little bit of a rhythm. We saw it on court 1. We're seeing it on court 3. Michigan State's really bringing it to these guys early on. But MTSU, they've struggled early before, and they've come back to make it a game later on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see how that continues to develop. We're going to be heading over to court 2 momentarily, and we'll get the latest from that. Again, MTSU having some struggles on courts 1 and 3, but maybe court 2 a different story. That will be seen in the future.
Absolutely.
And we will find that out in just a moment. But again, MTSU trying to really establish and make a statement here early on against a really good Michigan State team, as we've seen so far. So here's Say and Crocker for the Spartans, and they are taking on Stein Slump along with Pavel Model. MTSU up 2-1.
2 graduate students right at the body. It's a dangerous shot.
Yeah, right at the body, and you could see how close to the net Crocker was that time.
He was very close. Yeah, you got to be very defensive, quick reflexes. One of my coaches lost an eye from that.
Really?
Did, yeah.
Oh, my
College tennis is aggressive.
Steer clear of the nets when that ball's coming at you with that much speed, folks.
Yep. Right down the middle, let's see. Oh, Stein got to it, but it's a hard shot to return.
He did, and you saw how high the ball bounced off of the ground that time. Made it a tougher hit back for Stein. So 15 all momentarily for this one. We'll see how that continues to develop. Again, the names you see on play side are actually corresponding to court 3. We'll continue to get the latest as those go in, but MTSU does have the advantage on court 3 for now, as that one falls into the net for Say. Second serve to follow.
Oh, wow. Big shot there by the big man, Stein.
He did not want none. Oh, my goodness. He didn't want none of that one. Just swatted it down like he was hitting a fly that time. Beautifully done. And it's all about that aggressiveness, right, Cam?
Really
putting it down right at the net.
The big tall man up the net is hard to defend. That's crazy. Big shot by Stein.
Big shot by Stein. Nicely done. And now we'll have to see if MSU can respond. Here's Say with the serve.
A wide serve. Now one wide, yep, there you go.
Up, over, and out. So MTSU nabs another point right there and continues to build momentum here on court number 2. And we're starting to see this tandem of Slump and Pavel Model really making headway right now as a duo. And again, they both played last year and both very critical as graduate students, Cam. They've got a lot of experience, and that much experience really pays dividends in these sorts of situations.
Absolutely, yeah. Stein was so clutch last year, winning a lot of his really tough matchups, and Pavel, down towards like the lower courts, he won a few of his, some very tough matches. Most of Pavel's usually go pretty long. He's definitely a long match kind of guy.
Right. And as we see that ball fall into the net, Cam, I got to ask the question, MTSU and Michigan State for that matter, although they've been practicing, they've been playing, there's nothing quite like getting out there playing an actual match. Is there any sort of rust that comes with that, or is it kind of just a simple process thing?
Yeah, there might be a little bit of rust. It's a great shot there.
What a shot.
In the net, wow. Yeah, MTSU, they have always taken advantage of playing a lot right before they start the season with like tournaments and practices very, very early on. And that might help them out a little bit, especially with the addition of the new freshmen. But I'd say they're probably getting into it right about now. For some of the players, it might come a little bit later. I was always a late starter. If I didn't warm up enough before the match, if I hadn't sweat through my whole first shirt before I started the match, then I'm not going to be warmed up till the second set. So, yeah. But these guys both practice for very long beforehand. Dang, they love taking it at the man up at the net.
They really do.
Yeah.
Again, attacking it right there.
There've been a lot of misses in the net that they really got to aim a little bit higher.
It was Crocker again, just absolutely smacking that one.
Some line drives right at the man.
Those line drives are very hard for anyone, for that matter, to repel. Serve coming from MTSU here, and we'll see what can be done with Stein. Fantastic stuff right there from MTSU and from Michigan State for that matter.
Big
Beautiful
net
set.
game. Yeah, big net game there for Michigan State. MTSU just held out long enough.
Went back and forth between those two over and over again, almost like a game of badminton right around the net.
Yep.
But MTSU gets the overall advantage for now, and we'll see Stein get ready for another one. And Stein, in many ways, the big singles ace, but he's not a bad doubles player either.
Oh,
tried to slice it in there, but he just couldn't cut the pizza that time.
It was a big reach, yeah.
Those odd angles can be so difficult for players to approach.
Hard to put that one back in play.
So Stein will get another shot here.
That one just deep.
Look how far back Crocker's playing this one.
Yeah, Stein has probably got the biggest serve on MTSU, if I had to say. Call it the hammer. Wow.
Speaking of that hammer, he just used it to go
that
down.
That almost looked like a kick serve. It kicked up so high.
Had some smoke on it that time. Just went right towards the box.
Wow.
And it had Crocker saying, "Fairies." He didn't know what was coming at him that time.
It's hard to return that one for sure.
Yeah. Here's Slump again. That one will fall into the net. And second serve to follow.
Big shot there by Pavel.
Absolutely spiked it into the turf that time.
Big defense. That's what you need. Quick hands. Put it right back at his feet. Hard to return.
Pav making stuff happen for MTSU. Pavel Modal just absolutely smacked that one in the ground. And again, it's all about playing controlled tennis, and showed some ferocity that time, but also showed some accuracy.
Oh, yeah. Great ground game early on by Crockett.
Yeah, you saw
Crocker.
how close that one was to the white line that time.
Yep.
And, Cam, I probably wasn't as good as you at tennis, but for my 3 years when I played, a lot of it was also making sure you didn't make that mistake and let the ball go out. And coaches would always teach us that.
Yeah, definitely. Always play the ball out, just in case. Big hits there by Stein.
Man,
top spin on that first shot.
Stein off the pine with the spin shot. Beautifully done that time. And when you put that kind of spin on the ball, it's a huge misdirection. Hard for anybody to counter that.
Yep, absolutely. Big game there for the Raiders.
And that's a much-needed victory. So Stein and Pavel will take one to the bank, and we'll see them cash their check and hopefully cash it in for a victory. And folks, unlike singles, these doubles matches are only played to one set. So it's only first to 6 for all of these courts. That makes it all the more crucial to come out and perform early. You can't have another set to really worry about and play with. You got to make sure to perform and perform now to get this early doubles point.
Absolutely. And Jimmy, as we mentioned before, really likes that doubles point. It's a big momentum shift, and then you only need to win 3 more singles after that. So very important that they win right here.
So we saw the latest action from Court 2. MTSU gaining some advantage early with Stein Slump and Pavel Modal making things happen. We already saw a lot of what Court 3 was doing. They have a lead right now, 3-2, still precarious. And one of the worst things don't want to do, biggest thing you don't want to do, Cam, is you don't want to take your foot off the throttle.
Yep, absolutely. And we're going to take you guys down to Court 1 now.
Court 1 again joining OBP Oscar Brostrom-Polson and Francisco Rocha as they're taking on Barris and Sheldon for Michigan State. And again, this doubles team of OBP, Rocha, just so fantastic at what they do.
Yep, these two guys are absolutely crowd pleasers. They feed off of the crowd. If they get good energy, they will win. That's how they work. Rocha especially, he's the biggest crowd worker I've ever seen.
He wants the crowd to lend him.
He really does.
Yeah, lend them their energy, and that's what he's looking for right now. Here comes the second serve. And he serves up a dandy right there. Saw a little head nod as he went towards the sideline, but he knew that was a fantastic one. And again, when they come at you that fast as a player, hard to do anything about it.
Absolutely. Yep, serves on the high school level versus the college level are absolutely so much stronger in the latter. You really have to shift over to it. That's something these freshmen are going to see, the power behind these balls that they can hit, forehand, backhand, serve. They're all so much faster at this level, especially when playing against people like Michigan State and MTSU, big teams, big players.
That serve incredibly fast again from Rocha. He had Sheldon saying bazinga on that one. Just came at him like a bullet.
Big slam there.
Oh, my goodness. Spike it into the ground, young man. How about that from OBP?
Big shot there by Oscar.
Put some ketchup on that one. How about it? And sometimes you got to put it down with authority, make a statement, and get a little bit of that adrenaline in your body so that you can play better. And he absolutely did that right there, did Oscar Brostrom-Polson. And MTSU will take more momentum and take that point in this doubles match. And, you know, MTSU had some struggles early, Cam, but it seems like the tide is starting to turn potentially.
Absolutely, yep. I think MTSU, if they can pull it out with Rocha and Oscar, and if they can pull it out with Stein, I think, yeah, those two courts could definitely pull it through.
Here's a great look at the choir of the cathedral, as I'll call it. Look at all the fans that
including Grant, our reporter, on the left.
Yeah, there's Grant on the left doing his job dutifully. Always appreciate him. Back over to Court 3 we go. Action already in progress.
Yep. And it would be really big shot there for the freshmen. It'd be big for these guys to win their first doubles match of the official season.
Yeah, and what a better way for you to make a statement than to come out here early and get a point and get a victory for your team. That's what they want to do. And nicely done.
Hard shot there.
Hard shot, but beautifully. The crisscross applesauce that time.
Yep.
And sometimes you got to misdirect your opponents, Cam, and get them off sorts so that you can get it in there, and that's exactly what they just did.
Yeah, absolutely. That overhand shot, trying to slam it from the backcourt, very hard.
Yeah. That was Cam Rowski, and current score here is 2-4. Oh my gosh.
He says that one's just a bit wide.
Had some speed on it, and I think Horak maybe thought it was in at first, and turned out to not be the case, but he still put absolutely all the speed he had in that one. Second serve to follow.
That one just a bit deep.
He was going for the back line that time, and he just didn't have the placement on that one.
Yeah, he was coming up on that shot after the serve. Very hard to cushion the ball, make it drop. Most of the time that ball's going to go out.
So it goes out there, And Horak will have to try again. By the way, over on court number 1, the score is 4-3 MSU, Michigan State on top. It's the latest update we have there. More to follow as they come in and whenever Grant also gets an update. That one goes out of play, and again, nicely done by MTSU to force the pressure. And you saw how they crowded the net that time, and it kind of forced Michigan State to try to go up and over, and it ended up going out. So we'll see Horak serve it once again here. And that one will fall into the net. So, you know, a lot of times, Cam, players will use the first serve as kind of a litmus test, so to speak, to see what they can do in terms of the potential of a serve. They're almost like a fast serve, so to speak.
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely their first serve is their fastball. If that one doesn't drop in, usually more of a reserve serve. Sometimes a kick serve. They're pretty practiced at that, good at it. Sometimes it's a softer first serve.
And you see Horak and Kamrowski already starting to establish some chemistry. And again, one of these guys from the Czech Republic, the other from Poland. But you can already see they're starting to establish a mutual connection, and that only comes with time, and it will only get better with age.
Absolutely.
And again,
that one just deep.
And I think you're seeing them start to be a little bit more patient with the ball as they were that time. They'll get that point, and that should make it 3-4. MSU, Michigan State on top, but hold your horses, Spartans, because they're coming for you. Nicely done by Kamrowski and his teammate. And we see the choir singing quite a hymn right now, and they're showing their support for their Blue Raiders.
Yeah, you can probably guess which side is playing all the matches.
You can guess for sure. Court 1 is where we're back to now, as we see Barris and Sheldon. And again, they're taking on yes, Oscar Rostrom-Polson, excuse me, and Francisco Rocha.
Francisco pumping up the crowd.
As he does. He loves that crowd emotion. He loves that crowd support. So we'll see Barris come with this serve here. And
big slam there for Michigan State.
Yep, that was, check it, Sheldon, and
wow.
He slammed it to the ground that time.
Getting their Michigan State fans involved now.
Yeah, like I was about to mention, there are no shortage of MSU fans here either. They've traveled all the way
from
all the way from East Lansing, but they've come here through snow, through winter weather.
Snow here too.
Yeah.
Right outside of Adams Tennis Complex, we've had a decent amount of snowfall.
Yeah, that's something.
Yesterday was 68 degrees, and now big snow.
Michigan State needs 1 point to claim this one, and that's going to fall short. So, again, perhaps the best doubles team that MTSU's had in a good bit. You could argue one of the best ever. Going to have to dig their heels in deep to come out with a victory against a very talented opponent. But these young guys, Ozan Barris and as that one's going to fall out. Max Sheldon, the 2 for Michigan State. Very, very tough.
Oh, wow. Soft hands there from Rocha. Put back by Oscar, slam by Rocha.
That's slam by Rocha that time. Yep. Beautifully done, right up against the net. That
can't make it any
net
better.
Attack. Once again, Cam. And we're going to see Michigan State have to, again, play on the defensive.
So hard when the player is slamming it from the midcourt and you just have to cushion the ball up top. That's such a hard shot to get, but MTSU controlling right now.
And I believe Rocha again with a beautiful line drive placement. Emphasis on line. He put it right on that white line that time. So, again, Sheldon and Barris going to have to retool. It seems like that the opposing side is starting to get some momentum after being down early. But you almost wonder if maybe the dichotomy of serving and returning may be playing a factor here as well. Seems like MTSU has more of an advantage when serving.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially earlier on, since this is the first match they've played. This is the first game of the fall season. You might see a bit more breaks, but they'll definitely warm into it, especially as singles play goes on.
Rocha nicely done that time up against the net. And he's really
Absolutely.
starting to hit a stride as this game moves forward. We'll see OBP get ready for the next serve. And Max Sheldon waiting.
That one just deep again. Wow, big serve there from Francisco.
And that's going to bring it to 5-4. MTSU now down just 1 in this set here on court number 1. And they've got an opportunity to come back and maybe bring it to a tiebreaker here, Cam.
Absolutely.
And these guys, of course, they're all about winning time. They're just like the 80s Lakers. They know how to win in the moment when it counts. And if I was Michigan State, I wouldn't want to force it or put it into that sort of measure. I would want to get this one done. That's what they're going to try to do here on the next set of the game.
You definitely want to win on this court, try to win on Stein's court as well, Stein and Pablo as well. That way the freshmen, it isn't a whole lot of pressure on them. They can just focus on winning without, you got to win this to win the doubles point. So it would be a little bit easier for them to kind of ease them into college tennis. But we'll see. MTSU looking good on this court.
So OBP and Rocha will come back closer to the home fans for MTSU. The choir getting ready to serenade them here. And we'll see if they can use that to their advantage. Update on court 2, Stein and Pavel Model up 5-3. They are closing in on victory, Cam, and that's going to be huge for MTSU early. That puts all the pressure on the Spartans moving forward.
That's a big break. They were going back and forth. Once you get that break, you're good to go. You just got to serve it out now. Hopefully they can hold right there.
And that's what they're going to look to do, as we'll see Barris get ready for the next serve. Sheldon comes back into the box.
Okay, and the opposite on court 3 is currently we are down 3-5. Michigan State is up.
And speaking of up, how about that one from Sheldon that time? I mean, beautifully done, right up against the net, spiked it down. As a player, you got to make sure you don't want to overthink it sometimes when you're trying to make those hits, but there was no overthinking that one. It was simple as hit, put it down on the ground, and get the point.
Absolutely.
And that one's going to fall off, and looks like MTSU is going to get the point there. Nicely done by OBP and Rocha. And that will bring the game closer. And again, they're on the brink right now. If Michigan State gets the next point, they will take this court and make it 1-1 in terms of the doubles.
And there it is. Yep, Michigan State takes this court.
Yes, they will. So Michigan State has made it 1-0 at the moment in terms of the doubles match. MTSU with an opportunity to bring it back, but they're going to have to win the other 2 courts to make it happen.
Yep. This one's going to put a lot of pressure right here on the freshmen. Their first game here at Adams Tennis Complex, and it's down to them.
And officially on court 2, Stein and Pavel Model do get the victory. So it's now 1-1 here, Cam. That means all the marbles. It all comes down to court 3.
The cheese is getting binding right now.
Cheese is getting binding. Cream rises to the top, though, Cam. And
there you go.
Somebody's going to have to rise here. Let's see it already in action.
Oh, wow.
What a slice.
Way to get back in there.
How about that?
Wow, and the crowd is on fire right now.
Andre Harak absolutely slammed that one down into the ground, and MTSU gets an advantage, and that fires up the choir. Michigan State holds a 5-4 advantage here, trying to close out with a doubles point.
That's an unfortunate miss there. Good serve.
And it does go out. So a mistake by Horak that time. Again, these are just freshmen, folks. They are new to this MTSU team, but already they've got the support of the Raider Nation behind them, cheering them on, trying to will them to victory. our feed cut out there for a second. We'll see if that gets restored here on play site momentarily. But again, a very critical point right here for MTSU as Kamrowski and MTSU will look to take that. There's the choir once again.
Yep, there we go. And we can see former tennis player right there, Max Rauch, with the sweatshirt on. Formerly a very good tennis player for MTSU.
Absolute legend for MTSU. Here to watch his team, see if they can pull out a victory against a very good Michigan State team. Power 5 isn't exactly the same here for men's tennis, but if you want to talk Power 5, MTSU will host 3 of those teams here this season. One of them is Michigan State. As Kamrowski looks to return this. Apologize for technical difficulties with play site right now. And we will wait to see what happens.
Did we lose? Did we lose a double point? Did we lose on that court? Okay. Dang. Okay.
All right, and we can officially confirm Michigan State takes the doubles point. They now hold a 1-0 advantage. So the Spartans get the early bell to toll their way. And now, Cam, pressure's on MTSU. They've got to win 4 of these singles courts to get the overall victory.
Yep, absolutely. I think it was pretty critical that Francisco won that one on doubles, but unfortunately it came down to the freshmen. They couldn't really hold. You just got to really look past that one, try to win on singles now. MTSU needs 4 singles matches to win now.
Won't be an easy task, but we'll see if MTSU is up to the challenge. Going to use all their heart, soul, and passion to try and get it done. We'll be back here with more MTSU men's tennis action. Stay tuned on CUSA.tv and the MTN Sports YouTube channel. Come right back.
Mental health affects us all, whether you finish first or last.
Whether you win or lose.
The stigma around these issues causes those around us to suffer in silence.
Mental health is nothing to be ashamed of.
You are not alone.
You are not alone. As a student athlete,
As a teammate,
As a friend,
We pledge to continue the conversation.
because it matters.
because you matter.
stand up to the stigma.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Continue the conversation.
You are not alone.
I have a voice.
You have a voice.
We have a voice.
Our voices can be heard.
Outside of sports.
As student athletes, we have a platform.
Now more than ever.
It's important that we listen, learn, and lead, and raise our voices for change.
We can all do more.
Now is the time
To make a difference.
This is our chance.
This is our chance to make a better tomorrow.
Together,
We will continue the conversation.
we have a voice.
On June 23, 1972, Title IX was signed into law, and it reads, "No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity, receiving federal financial assistance." Happy 50th anniversary, Title IX. Thank you for giving little girls like me and big kids like Conference USA student athletes the opportunity to dream big.
Mental health affects us all, whether you finish first or last.
Whether you win or lose.
The stigma around these issues causes those around us to suffer in silence.
Mental health is nothing to be ashamed of.
You are not alone.
You are not alone. As a student athlete,
As a teammate,
As a friend,
We pledge to continue the conversation.
because it matters.
because you matter.
stand up to the stigma.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Continue the conversation.
You are not alone.